Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, and today we're looking at the Spektrum VA2510. This is a micro FPV cam, what I would consider a micro cam. This is also titled a heavy duty camera. It's 5.8, which is kind of standard, of course, and it has a Raceband. But there's a couple of interesting things. When you get in a camera this size, you're usually dealing with an open board camera. And if it does have an antenna like this on it, that's usually hanging in the breeze as well. So what this offers that's a little bit different is a hard case that protects your camera from the elements, dust, and I wouldn't say it's waterproof as in you put it in a pool. Maybe it is, but it's definitely something you can fly around in a light rain or not be afraid to put it on an off-road truck, and drive around a little bit in a creek. So that's not really something you can find everywhere. So that makes it special, I think. It's a 25 milliwatt transmitter. We're going to watch my video and you'll see how far that gets you. Pretty far. And I would say the clarity and low light's pretty good because I was flying it in an overcast, terrible winter day. So you'll get to see what that looks like. And it's great for the park. So you're looking at a photo of it on my Micro Skyhunter. I was always wondering, how am I going to mount this thing? So I simply use Velcro. I'm going to crash the living daylights out of this airplane. You're going to get to see how that holds up and how the heavy dutiness of this holds up. It's powered through your receiver. And one thing to note, let me find it here, it has an integrated power filter that prevents motor and servo interference. So that is awesome too, and you're going to get to see that because I was flying off the same signal that you're going to see in my DVR here. And here it is mounted on the plane. So this is a small airplane. You don't necessarily need to put it on a small airplane. I just have been using this little Micro Skyhunter as my test bed for these smaller cameras. The cable that's coming out the side there is kind of stiff. And the reason it's kind of in the air like that is because if I tried to force it into the hole in the canopy, it would kind of tilt the camera angle. So I thought, well, I'll just leave it like this. It did fine. Let's look at the back. You can see it's not powered right now, but there is a button right there, and that is how you change the channels. I'm not really sure that you can tell exactly what channel you're on. This sometimes comes into play when you start to get range out a little bit, and maybe you're on not the exact channel that you're supposed to be on. Sometimes that's a problem, but it is very simple. And I lined it up with I used a monitor, a dual diversity monitor on this to record the DVR and to fly with, and it worked great. So let's go to the field. I'm going to just chuck this thing in the air. So the great part about this is it's small, it's easy to install, it's lightweight, and yet it is something that you could also put if you wanted to on a boat. Probably a great unit for a boat and your off-road FPV trucks, anything like that. Now you will notice you're not hearing any audio. I am almost certain, based on my experimentation, that there is no microphone on this. Sometimes a microphone's great because you can hear your motor and find out, how things are going up there. Now, I have to say that for 25 milliwatts, we've already gone farther than I thought it would go. So this is a 30-acre square that you're looking at here. It's kind of hard to determine, but the tree line is kind of the outline of the airfield. So I got to here and I thought, wow, I am much farther out than I thought this would go. And that's when it started graining out on me. So I just kicked it back around. So once again, low level, there is not a speck of sunlight out today. When I was driving out to test fly this, I thought maybe it is too dark. And then I thought, well, I don't know. Let's see what the camera does, So now I'm flying around back, seeing what my boundaries are. And coming around, let's talk about the camera a little bit more. It is a 700 TVL Fat Shark camera, which is pretty impressive for such a small camera. Usually these things are a 600 TVL. And I think you can actually see it here. I can feel that it's a better camera. It has a wide angle lens. I'm a big fan of that. I like to see what's around me. I tend to do a lot of close in flying here in the backyard, and so I like to see the branches that are about to grab me out of the sky. I believe what's going on here, there's no one at the field, so I felt comfortable flying wherever I wanted to. But we I figured, you know, I'm on this little airplane and I might as well try to shoot the gap. So I'm going to come down here and um, line up, take a look at what it would take to fly under the protective canopy here. I wave this one off and skim the roof. This little overflow water thing there. So now I'm going to turn it back around and see what I can do going the other direction. So it's an analog NTSC, input power 3.9 to 6 volt. It's pretty broad range. And once again, it's 25 milliwatt, which, man, I might leave this camera on here. I'm liking it. So I have a crosswind, I believe, and it's throwing me off course. So I missed it again. But watching a video like this, as a guy who flies these cameras quite a bit, you want to see how much static you're getting. If you're getting a lot of static when you're tilted one way or the other, when your antenna is not in the line of sight of your receiving antennas. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I'm seeing through my hole. I'm seeing where I want to fly, and that's where I'm going to go. Made it. Very cool. And I'm very low. This field is pretty awesome. This is one of the oldest airfields in the country, if not the oldest airfield. No one's ever documented it, so I can't really say definitively that it's the oldest. I believe we're about to test the durability of the heavy dutiness of this camera. There's a little roll. It's like, oh, well, let's see. I haven't flown this thing inverted. And then I thought, well, maybe you should get your video before you start messing around here. So we're coming to the end. I'm pretty impressed. This is pretty raw. I mean, I haven't touched anything. So at this point, I'm getting that wind on me, and I'm like, just see where you want to go, Jim, and that's where you'll go. Oh. So that happened, and I'm happy to say there wasn't even a dent on the airplane. The camera was fine. Everything was good, except it was about 39 degrees outside, and I thought that was a great time to throw everything back in the truck and head on back and see what the video looked like. So it proved to be durable. It really ranged out for 25 milliwatts. I think as where I fly, I could live with this camera full time, which at 25 milliwatts, I always think of that as more of an indoor type of thing. So pretty surprising to me. So anyway, we have been looking at the heavy duty 25 milliwatt 5.8 video transmitter and camera with Raceband. And you can find that at Horizon. Look up FPV, look up heavy duty would be your keyword there. But more importantly, in the description of this video will be a link to the full review on this with all the links you need on rcgroups.com. So also, hey man, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. I hope this has helped you in your FPV pursuits. Have a great day.